One of those things we're kind of building it as we fly. I'm just gonna. It takes a couple. I think takes. Oh, it's counting down. What do you see on your screen?
I just see live and it's counting.
Okay. All right. Oh, it's saying how long it is. All right. Very cool. So for let me see. All right. We are all good. We are all live. What's cracking, people? It's your baby mama's favorite cousin, cousin Tita, and we are here with none other than the general. See, and Rom, you can explain this evolution at some point if you'd like to. But it used to be the field master, right? Used to be the field
Yeah.
master. Now it's the general. With all the salute to you, it's the general, Rom Wills. Um, and first of all, thank you very much for coming out. And I mean, short notice is a relative thing, right? Because we're always uh, having discussions and chatting behind the scenes and texting ideas. And but seeing as though that this is the inaugural YouTube stream, I think it's fitting to have such a pioneer, such a giant, such a pillar in the community of man gets woman to be the inaugural guest on the show. And your reputation obviously precedes you. Your resume is impeccable. Your presence is undeniable. Ladies and gentlemen, we definitely want to welcome the General Rom Wills. Welcome.
Uh,
I think I may have something. Uh-oh.
what? Can you hear me?
Yes, absolutely. I was just trying to put out like an applause track in there. So the subject for today's or this evening's chat is none other than select and non-select men. And this is an interesting topic that, of course, you have a lot of experience with breaking down and explaining. But when you mention the part that includes what women choose when women have the choice to choose, that was like, oh yeah, absolutely. Let's definitely uh, have this particular conversation because there's been a lot of talk throughout the various spheres about a woman's choice and how historically that choice has been influenced by her need to survive, right? In a market that requires, you know, protection and provision, so to speak. So, just to get us started, could you define for those who are listening the difference between a select and non-select man?
Basically, it comes down to who she want to fuck, who she want to have sex with. Seriously, that's really all it is. She selects the men who she wants to have sex with, and the non-select men are the men she don't want to have sex with. Now, to be clear, a non-select man can get a woman, but she might not want to have sex with him. That might be the man she settles with, the man she deal with, and she'll still cheat with the select man. But that's to understand that's what it's always been. And then in more recent years, it's gotten really more extreme because women are free to have sex with whoever they want. So they don't even need to mess with a non-select man even for survival. See, one of the things that it used to be, there used to always be a select and non-select throughout history. But women would have to, for numerous reasons, it could be religion, patriarchy, um, not being able to get their own resources, that they would still have to deal with non-select men anyway. But because they can get their money, because they're a little bit more free, they don't even have to deal with non-select men unless they absolutely have to. And even then it becomes a situation, the more attractive women will still get the more select men. See, that's the whole thing right there. See, it's always been there. If you look throughout history, only maybe 40% of men will put their genes into the future. Then that's how it's always been. But now it's gotten to the point a man can't even really like spend money on a woman. Like you get a lot of guys out there thinking, man, yeah, I just had that money. Women got their own money. They don't need that. They got their own house. In fact, when I was coming from the gym walking out, I saw this young lady I knew who got her, she got a boyfriend, but she bought her own house or something. She ain't even 30 yet. So the man she having sex with is probably some athletic dude who she just happened to get. How much money he had was irrelevant. What house he had was irrelevant. It was just who she found sexually appealing. That's all it come down to now. See, that's been the biggest change. See, you got a lot of guys talking about, yeah, the game has changed in these later years. And well, really, from my perspective, it hadn't. But then I grew up around select men, been around select men. So it hasn't changed in that view, but it has changed in the view that an ordinary dude who just happened to be willing to work for his woman or something, he ain't getting it like he used to. So I mean, that's the change. That's the change. That's why you got this male loneliness epidemic. It ain't that the women just, the women are just leaving them alone just to leave them alone. Women, they just want that they want that top 20% of men. That's it. That's it. So, it is what it is.
Okay, now you just dropped a lot of truth. Okay, a lot of, and you did not sugarcoat anything. So, in an effort to not run everybody away, well, not everybody, because we speak to the entire audience, select, pre-select, non-select. I'm throwing my little language in there too, and gentlemen who are on their path of mastery and self-improvement and development. So, you mentioned that the select non-select phenomena or dynamic has always been present. And I know, because of course I have my own personal copy, right, of Nice Guys and Players. Everybody in the chat need to make sure that you have your copy of Nice Guys and Players. I understand that when you mention that this has always been a historical dynamic, I think we would benefit the audience by explaining some details about how these play out. Now, of course, I talk about the office fuck file. I talk about, or I bring up how, the milkman, the mailman, the door-to-door salesman, even back in the 50s and 40s when, women were, some in some demographics, women were stay-at-home moms and things of that nature. Guys would imagine that, women couldn't exercise their options or exercise their choice. But of course, the milkman, the delivery man, the door-to-door salesman, they all had access and they would indulge. Okay, so let me ask you this. Let me ask you this one question, but I want to send a shout out, obviously, to Joe Blast for the $5 donation. Respect, Cousin T and Big Rom. Greatly appreciate it. In your experience, Ron, when would you say this 20% sort of dynamic really began to accelerate in terms of not just the most attractive women desiring the top 20% of men, but all women, or the majority of women desiring the top 20%? Where would you say that accelerated?
I would say it accelerated in the 70s. I mean, a lot of people, that's when things really sped up for women, when they could really be free to be themselves, when they didn't have to get that man just for survival. It started in the 70s, really picked up in the 80s and the 90s. And now we're seeing the results of it. Because I remember back in the 90s, I remember dealing with some women in the building that I lived in, right? And they had been married and just, they had left their husbands, and I hooked up with them. But I said, well, why'd you leave that man? And they all said the same thing. They both said the same thing. We were just with them for survival.
Wow. Okay. And in those experiences, did you ever, well, depending on what your age was at the time, you probably didn't really care about going deep into, what their motivation was in terms of why they sought you, as opposed to other men in the neighborhood, or other, uh, the other men or options or choices that they had available to them.
Well, they wanted me. They found me sexually appealing and stuff. I was the type of man that they wanted. See, that was the thing, because women had their own money. They didn't have to deal with a man just because he was spending money on them. And trust me, I ain't spend money on them, because there's people who follow me know I ain't big on spending money on a woman.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's a whole other topic of conversation, in and of itself. When or if a man should spend money on a woman, what that means, how much, under what circumstance. But you mentioned being sexually appealing, sexually attracted to a woman. Now, when we mentor, coach, and teach men this thing we call game, we have conversations with men from a variety of backgrounds, and they are starting from a variety of positions in life. Some men were former athletes. Some men were, they played chess in school. Some men, let's just be honest, they were nerds. They were bookworms, or, they were into, activities that weren't necessarily the most popular activities. You mentioned being sexually attractive. What's the difference between being attractive and sexually attractive?
Well, sexually attractive is just basically a woman wants to have sex with you. I mean, it really is just that simple. If she wants to have sex, she finds she's turned on by the man. See, one thing with women, right? They always looking at a man sexually. Always. Always. Even in situations, they ain't gonna have sex, but they always checking out a man. And it don't mean he necessarily looks like supermodel of the world. He just look like he can fuck. So that's the thing.
Okay. So let's just put this example out there right now, because over the course of this discussion, I would like to highlight some tips and some insights that we share with not only those who are members of our Patreon, but those who elect to receive coaching services from us. So when we talk about, um, again, let's get that scenario of the men who, in their developmental years, were not into social activities, who were not, like I said, part of the football team, let alone captain of a team, basketball, baseball, football. I call that the elementary stage of development. Basically, when we were in school playing, catch a girl, kiss a girl. Okay. Now, I don't know what kind of allegations or charges would be brought up nowadays, but, back in my day, right? Or let me just say, during a young man's developmental stages, those were moments of developmental social interactions with the opposite sex, and how we got to understand and to learn our own presence and become more comfortable with interacting with the opposite sex. And I've found that in a lot of coaching sessions, beyond those who are virgins, because, and I'm sure you've coached some virgins too. Do you find that you need to dig further back into a man's past in order to understand why he's experiencing a drought, or why he can't develop his sex appeal?
Yeah, in cases when we want to go deeper, because you do have to go back, because really when you look at why a man might make his 20s or something, he's still a virgin, especially in this day and time, because women, they'll still have sex with a non-select man every now and then. So you got to like really look at, okay, well, what was up with you? What was going on with you? What was happening? How come you didn't just get some loose pussy here and there? Because you got some women, they just gonna fuck whoever, right?
Mm.
So it's like, yeah, some of them you have to, some of them you don't, because I would say a third of the clients I get already select, but the reason they just want to know how to manage women. So only
Mm.
get a small percentage, maybe a few who might be virgins. They just totally whatever. But usually you had to start them from the beginning on. I had to tell them how to just interact with women, talking with women 3 times a day, saying hi and stuff, gradually developing where they're used to dealing with women. Now, if it gets too deep, I'll be real. Sometimes they might need to see a therapist. They might have to have something going on with. So, it depends. It depends. And it's a case by case basis. It's not something universal.
Okay, and I agree. I have referred or recommended that clients seek professional therapy or a counselor to try to
Mhm.
help them work through something that's triggering them, because like you mentioned, I definitely give homework, and I try to put men in scenarios: go to a mall, go to a cafeteria. If you work in an urban area, go to the downtown space or the financial district or the jury district during lunchtime. Because that's when the majority of the women are going on their breaks, or going to lunch, or going to run errands. So you're immersed in an environment where you have a lot of attractive women who are in a space for a period of time. If she's on lunch, she's there for 30 minutes, she's there for 40 minutes. If she's at a coffee shop, same thing. And what's interesting is, and I'm just going to speak this last part of working with virgins one time, and then we'll move on to like what I refer to as the intermediate level. When when I have worked with virgins, sometimes they're in different countries, okay, who have a completely different, cultural approach to sexuality and religion and things of that nature. Um, and what's interesting is that no matter what the cultural or ethnic sort of values or principles, the primal human desire is always going to be there. And when you uh, when you give instructions to a coaching client or just men in general that have them tap into that primal sort of driver or that primal desire of a woman, it shocks them. It shows that man something that he's never uh, experienced, let alone thought was possible. Like, oh my gosh, she turned immediately from this cold prude, stick in the mud or whatever, and now she's trying to do it in the backseat of the car. What do I do now?
Mm.
you know, so a lot of times when a man may think that he's non-select, he could just not have the experience or even the guidance on how to walk through that process. And that takes me to sort of the intermediate level. Now, you mentioned that like a third of your coaching clients are, would you qualify them as players?
Yeah, I would. I would, because you get a lot of guys who they really just don't know how to handle their women. I mean, it's one thing to deal with one woman, but then if you're trying to deal with 3, 4, 5, you don't know what to do, because like I would say with women, and I've talked about this week on my regular channel, you might have like 1, 2, 3 women, and you really deal with each woman. She's bringing about 3, 4 women within her, because she's changing up. You got to have that emotional skill to actually deal with them. So it's like you dealing with a lot. You dealing with a lot of stuff. They switching up. You get one who want to fuck like crazy. You get another one who don't want you to touch her that week. But then the next week, oh, she coming over your house and stuff with nothing on but a trench coat, some heels, and no panties on, butt
Like that.
naked. She
Okay.
changing up. So usually that's what I'm like talking with different men about. Now that's a third of them. And then every now and then I get some guys, they just don't have that much experience. They might have been with 1 or 2 women and they want to know how to get with more.
Right.
And I was just like, and it has actually been some guys I recommended. I say, why don't you get used to dealing with that one woman first? Start ahead, get that as Player Supreme, may he rest in peace, would say, get that start of her.
Now, that's a very good point that you mentioned. Um, Instructing men who have only experienced probably 1, 2, or maybe 3 women in their lifetimes. What's your opinion about how many women a man should experience before he can refer to himself as, actually having experience? One of the sort of running numbers in these various spheres is between like 30 and 50. What's your opinion on that?
I would say that because you're dealing with different women, even though I talk about on my page tribe. A tribe is just the type of woman that a particular man gets, but no matter what, they still going to be different. I don't care how much they look alike, what their social class is. They might have some similarities, but they all going to be different. And I would say that you would have to, as a man, you would definitely have to have multiple women. You would definitely have to, before you have real experience, because if you have one woman, yeah, you dealing with her, but then the next one, I don't care how much she is like the first one, she's gonna have some different stuff. She's gonna have some different stuff. And as a man who's, well, I've been out with multiple women, dealt with
Mhm.
multiple women, they just going to give you different things. They going
Right.
to give you different things. And really, to really understand women, you really have to date a lot. I would say 30 to 50. Really, for a
Okay.
lot of men, if they deal with more than 10,
Right.
because the average man out here is honestly going to get with 5 women in his lifetime, the average man. Now, if you're
Right.
talking about you want to call yourself a player, you want to call yourself Mr. Goodbar, ASP, whatever you want to term you want to use, then you're
Sure.
talking about at least 30.
Right. So I agree with that position, and my overall sort of orientation towards that is that a man should constantly be expanding his experience, expanding his palette, especially because I advocate for threesomes. Okay. And
Yeah, no.
so, whether you're in a committed relationship, married, under whatever, social construct that you um, approve of as being, dedicated to a woman or a polycule or multiple women, I still think that a man should include um, bringing other women in and actually training his woman to go and get and screen new women for them to enjoy. Okay, so this is my perspective. All right, this is not a doctor prescription or anything like that, but because I approach sexual health just like going to the gym, okay, or going to a boxing dojo, or going to karate class. You're going to be sparring with many different people over the course of your experience. You're going to be sparring, hopefully, into your 80s and 90s with new people. It's a form of exercise. It's a form of release. It's a form of, development and recentering. That's just my position on that. But yes, I agree with the statement that a man should experience between 30 and 50 women in order to qualify himself as having experience. Now, being a player, that's a whole nother level to that dynamic. How about this question right here? Are you up for answering questions right now? You want
Oh,
to
yeah, yeah,
get
yeah.
a little deeper?
Shoot. I
Okay,
love it.
so this first question says, let's see, this is from Daniel Victor. Daniel Victor, 5529. He's asking, is being select all about being thorough, like being the complete package, a nice physique, good conversation, having a stable lifestyle, being able to learn how to fight? What's your opinion on that, Ron?
My sincere opinion is, yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. You want to, I mean, being select, like women are turned on by a man's body. That's why I promote body game, right? But you still have to talk with them. You still need a good conversation because, as I always say, a woman will look at a man and she will say he's fine until he open his mouth, and she get instant dryness. She get turned off. So you got to have that bait to draw the woman. And the main thing is the body. Now you get some dudes out there thinking it's just a face. Women don't stop at that. Yeah, there's some women who like your face. And yeah, I always talk about letting the barber bless you and stuff, but they looking at your whole body. That woman want to imagine you butt naked. Heck, you got some women, they just going to look down. They want to look down at your print. They want to know what's up with that. They want to look you from head to toe. Shoot, you get some women look at your feet and your hands. They be like, oh, they big. Oh, I guess something else is big too. And you'd have a good conversation. Now, having a stable lifestyle, being able to fight, yeah, that depends because you could have the first two and your ass might be homeless. You got some hobosexuals out there. Like I always talk about where I used to live, right above me, there was this dude, Dominican dude. And just real quick, it wasn't even about his height because dude was only about 5'8". But his woman used to work all the time and he used to be home all the time. He ain't even have money. You got some dudes out there, shoot, the women paying them. So it's not even about the lifestyle and learning how to fight. Man, you got some dudes, they might not need to fight. Now you need to know how to fight anyway, but you don't need to necessarily get that to get the pussy. You need to just you need to have a nice physique and a good conversation, and you can get the pussy. That's it.
All right. So
now, if you got the complete package, that's great. But really, just turn them on sexually, have a nice body, somebody they want to see naked, have enough drive within you, look like you'll fuck their brains out. Sometimes you got to look like you got to be discreet, and you still got to talk to them no matter what. Only time you can get sex from them without having a conversation is if you at a party, they drunk, and you might do something in the bathroom. Oh, excuse me, bathroom, and you might or behind the alley or something or whatever, if it's real quick. But those are rare. But like if you're working on a job or you see them or something, they need to be turned on because they're going to look you up and down. And then you need to be able to talk with them because you go up to them like blah, 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 blah. They're going to be like, whatever.
Right. And so I agree with all that, definitely. And just to expand on this question a little bit. Now, would you say that a man, in order to be referred to as select, does that require that he constantly get consistent cooperation from women, like the type of women that he desires?
Yeah. I would say maybe he's going to get a rejection every now and then, but I say for the most part, I would say 75% of the time at a minimum, he's dealing with the women he wants. He's dealing with the women on his terms. In fact, that's a big part of being select. He's dealing with the women on his terms. And that's something to really understand, because if he gotta be in a position where he's dealing with the woman on her terms, he ain't really select. She might be selling for him. And you get a lot of women, they'll deal with a non-select man who they don't really want to be with, but they want somebody around. They want somebody to move the furniture. They want somebody they can get some money from. But for you to be select, she need to be selecting you. She need to be choosing you. She need to be dealing with you on your terms. Because at some point, if you're at the highest level of select, or what I would call Mr. Goodbar, after you get tired of that woman, you dismiss her like the maid. You can move back from her at any time.
Very cool. Because that's why this is a very good question. I like this question, because now we can shift it a little bit more. We understand that being select means that you get consistent cooperation from the type of women that you desire, not just women, who are settling for you. How about, because I'm big on S&V. I'm big on ratings. Okay. What would you say is the minimum ratings of the type of woman that need to be showing you cooperation, and you need to be active with and enjoying, her company with? What would you say the average sort of look would be out of a scale of 1 to 10 in order to be considered select?
I would say if you can consistently get women 6 and above, consistently. You might get that Foxy 4 every now and then, and you'll probably get some attention, but can you consistently get attractive women? And I'm saying a minimum 6. If you can consistently get even 8 to 10s, even though there's not that many according to my viewpoint. If you can consistently get attractive women to say, hey, I want to get with you consistently, and they not settling for you. And when I say consistently, Ain't like one every now, like you get one and then 5 years later you get another one. And you dealing with mostly like jacked up women. If you can consistently get the more attractive women, above average women at least.
I like that. You know what? This is a wonderful class that's happening. Class is in session right now, gentlemen. Y'all need to be hitting them links. Y'all need to be making sure that you're on Rom's Patreon. Look at mine as well. But today is about the conversation with the General Rom Wills. Make sure that you have his book. You're on his Patreon. Definitely your sub to his channel. Show him love. Rom, I don't know if you want to, post any other external links like Cash App, or if you do PayPal or anything like that, definitely, so that you can be blessed for this amazing game that you're hitting them with, because we're about to take it even further. Okay. So we have the qualification of getting consistent cooperation from above average women. This is getting good in order to be referred to as select. Now, moving it a bit further, and don't worry, continue, gentlemen who are in the chat, continue putting questions down there, because we'll try to get to as many as we can. Consistent cooperation from women who are over sixes, having at least the experiential range of between 30 and 50 women in your experience. Now, another part of his question has to do with having a stable lifestyle. So I'm assuming that he means being paid. Okay. Being able to take a woman, out for.
I'm going to tell you what, let me just be clear about that, because you get a lot of people, a lot of men who think you got to spend money on a woman. If you select, you could be a broke ass motherfucker. You don't even have to have money. You select, you sexually select. Women will pay. Like, I know a select brother, the women paying for him, buying him stuff, taking him on vacations, helping him to get a place. If you select, you just sexually select. All the women want is your dick. Okay? That's it. You don't have to have that much money. Shoot. I mean, I know of this one guy who was select. And the woman, he was literally living in his mom's basement. And I asked the woman why she got one. She said he was fine, she was easy, and she brought beer. I mean, that's it. It's a sexual thing. It ain't about how much money you got. Women will spend their money. They will give the man money if he's select. You don't have to have anything. He just has to be somebody with a sexy body, and know what he doing in the bedroom. That's it.
Very good. Very well said. That was a great question. Those who are participating, remember, if you want to submit a question, just put a Q before that. We appreciate all likes. Thank you very much. And subscribes. Obviously, you can holler at the T-Tall Tabernacle with via Cash App. The link is down and the banner. But let's get to this particular question. Shout out to Joe Blast. This one says, when did the two of you each realize you were select? Now that's a great question, and I'll you can go first, Rom.
Oh, well,
you're the guest.
I'm gonna be real. I didn't really realize it until my early 20s, because when I was in college and stuff, I was comparing myself to like D1 basketball players. And some other guys. So compared to them, I was non-select. But then when I kind of changed my environment and was getting some more women, I was like, oh, okay, I'm doing it. But then I look back at it and I was like, no, I was select then, but just at a lower level. See, one thing, there's going to be different levels of select. There's going to be different levels. You're going to get some guys, shoot, they can't walk down the street. They can stand on a corner and get a woman. And then some guys, they might have to work at it because you got to grow at it. See, one of the things is don't think you get into a certain place and you stuck. That's one of the main things. Too many guys think they stuck, like they might feel like they non-select and they stuck. Like one of the things I can't stand is somebody comment and say, well, I'm non-select. I was like, my whole book is about getting you select. Any man can get to that point. So I didn't really realize it until I wasn't around like the super select guys. And when I say super select, these were D1 athletes. Come on, man. Basketball players. Women were just throwing it at them. But when I wasn't comparing myself to them, I was like, hold up. I ain't that bad. I ain't chopped liver, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then, just talking with some, as I got older, I had some women tell me, they say, nah, they were checking you out then. I seen some pictures. Nah, you were getting it then. You just didn't realize it.
Mm. Very real, very real. So I'll answer this question. When did I realize I was select? I had some ideas growing up. I'll say that. My developmental years were sort of wavy, going up and down in terms of attention and things like that. I was into sports. I was into, the extracurricular activities and things like that. And I flirted with girls, but I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't have a mentor until my stepdad. And my stepdad, I consider him, to be an alpha. Okay, man's man, did construction, would sling a sledgehammer with one hand, and things like that. Would teach us, my older brother and I, the value of, honesty, being a man, standing up, taking responsibility, but also getting the ladies. He absolutely made sure that he would give us any advice that he could on how to present your best self. And even though he was a former bodybuilder and he had gained weight or whatever, so his main sort of position was mouthpiece. His position was mouthpiece. That's why, and he was a hilarious guy. Told jokes, could find the humor in almost anything, which is a wonderful way to sort of find your inner voice. Is looking at ways to find the humor in a situation without being clownish, without being goofy. Just look for the humor in something. And that's why when I'm engaging with the type of woman that I desire to acquire a fun evening with, I'm going to look for something that I can break the ice with that is funny to me. Okay. If she got a big forehead, I'm going to try to shine it up. Or if, she got some goofy shoes on, I'm gonna ask her if she still kept the receipt on them, so we can take it back. Come on, let's go and take it back together, baby, because you messed up on the shoes. Something, okay. So at different points of my development, I recognized that a decent amount of women would be attracted to me. They would come up to me and talk to me without me breaking the ice or having to engage with them first. So that was around probably 23. 23 was a crazy year for me. I'm going to just say this. There was a period of time when I had just left school because I had started going to college, but I dropped out. Long story or whatever. But I would still hang out on the college campus of the school that I went to. And I was at sort of this rec center, and I would go there to shoot pool, watch TV. The sort of coffee maker or the barista, the young lady who was the barista behind the counter, she was still in college. Okay, she invited me back to her room. Okay, on the first meeting. So I had a sense. I would say that would be the moment. I'm working. I'm grown. I have nothing more to do with the school, but I'm back in the dorm rooms, you know, knocking over lamps and things like that. So I would say around 23, 24 would be when I realized
Oh,
that. So
okay.
it's
Yeah,
it's
that was around my age too, man. Around
mhm.
my age, 23, 24. You know, around that age too. I was getting it. Let's just say I was kidnapped a few times and stuff.
Oh yeah. Oh, I got stories about kidnapping.
Yeah. Because I'm gonna tell you what, and you could probably attest to this. When a woman wants you sexually, man, they open up like they let you know. Because that's why I always say women out here horny, man. They horny. They tell you straight up, they be flirting with you, whatever. So you know, it's like you can do whatever. When they flirting with you, they coming for you. Shoot, women are hang you. They'll come over your place, come visit you. That's why I'm these guys should know. If you got to chase women too much, you probably ain't select. But when you select, women will put themselves in your plate, in your path. They will come visit you. They will do whatever. You gonna figure it out. I would say if the women chasing you now, of course, we you know publicly I'll say, yeah, you might have to approach the women, but that's usually helping out the non-select guys to build them up. But once you get select, women are going to select.
Absolutely. Okay, now this is an interesting question from Ted Matrix. It says, can a black man that's 40 plus years old stay with his mom and collect SSI check can still get women? Appreciate it. So, my
It
first
depends.
response, yeah,
Well, go ahead, go ahead.
my first response is if this is a real legitimate question, you know, you can start first, Ron. I'll give you the first.
I would say it depends on his environment, where he at, the type of women he's dealing with. The type of women he's dealing with, and like, why is he getting SSI? What women is he out now? If he's staying in the house, he ain't going any place. He ain't gonna get no parts of the pussy. But if he going out, he got some place to go. He around some women, like he working, he joins a gym, something like that. He can get some play. Like I say, if he got a nice physique, he got a nice conversation, a woman to get with him. They ain't tripping. Like I've talked about a few times when this guy who looked like he was damn near homeless, he was working these women at this gathering we had of some men and some women. He was working. I mean, he and this dude looked homeless. In fact, before we even got up over there, saw this dude pick up a cigarette butt from the ground, from the street.
Mm.
But when he got around these women, he was tearing them up. And you know, it depends. As long as he got that physique, he got a good conversation. Some women don't care because you got these hobosexuals. Hobosexuals. These women, they just want that man to come in the house and keep them fucked. All he has to do is keep them satisfied. They can be kept men. So it's not impossible. Now, if he just going to sit in the house and not do anything, he ain't going to get no parts of the pussy.
Right. So I can say this. I have definitely coached men who had disabilities or have disabilities, and I know men, younger men and mature men who have disabilities who are on SSI, who are of various ages, who definitely get women, who absolutely, without a doubt, get women. And this, I know this is a general question. And if you were doing a session, we would obviously get down to the basics of what specifically the disability is, what the circumstances are, and also the type of women that this person is usually going for. But there are a lot of women of diverse backgrounds who are really just looking to be appreciated, who are looking to be loved, looking to be boned, looking to have some satisfaction in their lives. And as long as the man is competent, coherent, and has the ability to communicate and present his attractive qualities to the type of woman that he desires to acquire an experience with, he should have no problem living with your mom, living with your grandparents. You know, ask Generation Z how buying houses is going right now. Okay, so thanks for that question, Ted Max. Definitely, those who are in attendance, definitely keeping those likes up, like, share, sub. Let's get now. We got a couple other good questions here, but I wanted to make sure that we covered, Rom, your opinion about the modern state of the mating. I call it the mating, dating, and relating landscape. Okay, I make sure that I distinguish between those three activities. People just say it's just the dating world. They say the dating pool got piss in it or whatever. People try to make light of the modern state of affairs. But in your opinion, I'm going to ask you these separately. What is in your opinion, the modern state of mating, meaning hooking up?
In my view, it's a select man's landscape. It's a select man because, as I was saying earlier, women they free to fuck whoever they want. They don't have to settle. They don't, just because some guy talking about he a provider and he'll work for him and stuff. Well, shoot, these women out here got their own houses. I know several women under the age of 30 got their own houses. So check, they don't need that from a man. Or if you they got their own jobs. Shoot, they working, they going to school more. But they still, all of them will still want some D. So if you are a select man, you're on top of it. But if you non-select and you're not turning a woman on sexually, you're gonna have trouble. Those are the men having trouble out here. Those are the men having trouble.
Right. Okay.
You
So
know,
that's
all these other, that's the thing. They the ones complaining. But if you get the select man, shoot, he got more women he know what to do with his shoot. And sometimes the women know, because there's a lot of polygyny out there. There's a lot of women, they know that they are part of a polytriad. They will share a man. They knowingly share a man. All the man has to do is just, as long as he give them some good, they know that their man is over at his other woman's house. Because they don't have to grab it, because they got their own houses anyway. They got their own stuff. That's the basic thing that's happening. That's the basic thing. They don't need that man anymore. They don't even, if they would rather share that select man who's giving them that the good man, than deal with that non-select man who probably do everything for them. Right. And then women, shoot, even socially, they ain't pressured. If they get married now, maybe if they in some of those subcultures or social classes where they still need to have somebody on a man, but even that's changing now. It's becoming a select man's world. What I would tell every single man, you need to get into that world, and there's plenty of room for it. That's what I'm coaching them on. That's what you coaching them on. Ain't no ifs, ands, and buts. Stop asking the women to dip down. See, some of these guys, they trying to get them to dip down, trying to do whatever they can. Shoot, you even got some we ain't gonna get into the politics of it, but even politically, trying to get them to like just accept some men. That ain't happening no more. They free. The genie's out the bottle. So if you want women these days, you really want women, you want your choice, you need to be hitting the gym. You need to be working on your conversation. You need to be working on your sexual attitude. If you really want to get these women out here. Because even if you select, even these married women, man, like if I was going to be a dirty Mac, I'd have a married woman over here every day. That's the idea. If I was going to be a dirty Mac, seriously, I'd be looking at women's fingers and stuff. They'd be ultra friendly and stuff. Like I go to the gym, I was like, why are these married women talking to me?
Absolutely. And I like that term, sexual attitude. I like that term. So that covers the modern landscape in terms of mating, dating, and relating. Uh, you heard it from the general Rom Wills. He says it is a select man's market,
Yeah.
meaning that the more that you develop your sexual prowess, the more that you develop your presence, meaning your physique, your outfit, your fragrance, your conversational skills. You don't have to necessarily be, a high level political speechwriter in
Nah.
order to spark up a conversation or the type of conversation that can lead you from hello to the pillow. You just need to be able to communicate your desire, communicate the opportunity that you're presenting to a particular woman that you look at and you see and that you're interested in offering the night of her life, an opportunity that doesn't come
Mm-hmm.
along every day, the opportunity to enjoy you. That's the exchange of intimacy that we're discussing here. So, all right, let's
Well,
see.
let me say one more thing, man.
Oh,
Let me
okay,
say one more thing, and then I'll answer that question you just popped up. Look,
okay.
man, I talk to a lot of young girls. They don't got a man. Now I'm gonna be 61 next month. I shouldn't be getting attention from these fine ass young women. I'll be at
Yes, you
the
should.
gym and stuff, and dudes be asking me, man, you know her? I'll be talking to some like pretty young girl. They be like, what you know about her? I'll be like, well, damn, just say hi. In fact, I remember I was at the gym one time. I was trying to hook up this couple. Shoot, she was funny. I had to stop her one time. I saw her one time. She about to try to give me a hug. I was like, seriously, because I was trying to be chill. I was trying to be chilled and stuff, but she was showing some stuff. Be seeing me smiling and all that. There's a few of them, and they don't have a man. And then you get some Bamas. I've talked about that in some car videos. They say, no, that ain't the case. I was like, how many of these women y'all talking to? Man, these
Mm,
women out here thirsty as shit, man. They thirsty as shit. And, brothers like myself, brothers like Cousin T Talk, telling you how to get these thirsty ass women. I mean,
right,
seriously.
right. Being who you are, developing what's already there, and potentially beneath the surface. That's how you have the opportunity to enjoy the type of woman that you desire uh, an intimate exchange with. So here's a question, Rom. Can you talk about your experiences with the super good bar anomalies?
Man, look, man. Only men who I knew just got it just like crazy were just D1 athletes. They were basketball players and stuff, and they in front of a bunch of women. If you playing some D-wall ball, it's like a joke we used to have when we were in college. Somebody score a touchdown, and the dudes be like, "Yeah, he gonna get his cut tonight." They just in a position to get plenty of women. If you're in a position, like, I mean, you could talk about the athletes, you could talk about a man working around a bunch of women. I remember I was on a job and they had a bunch of women there, and I found out a whole bunch of women were trying to give me some. Ain't nothing super about them. They just in a position to get these women. That's it. Ain't nothing. They don't got no great game or something. Because if you're a sexy dude to women, you're gonna be a sexy dude to a group of them. You just gotta be around them. That's it. Ain't no anomalies or anything like that. I'm gonna be real, man. I ain't trying to be disrespectful, man, but that's coming off like that non-select thought, man. Come on, that up in
Mm,
here. If you want to get a
mm.
woman, you just gotta be around some women. Hit the gym, be around. You could be working with them. I know this one player. He listen. He just be working at this place that got a bunch of women there. That's all you had
Okay.
to be. Ain't no special. Ain't nothing special about them. Because if you sexy to one, you probably sexy to like 100. In fact, I've said that before publicly. I say if you can get one woman, you can get 100.
Mm,
You just got to
I
be
agree.
around them. Ain't anomalies or anything like that. They
See,
just there.
Rom, Now you're touching on some other video topics here, or some other discussion topics. You touched on the office fuck file, what I call being the office Adonis. You've got
Oh yeah.
different types of men that are in the office that get different levels of participation. But also, when I talk about the alpha showpiece, now this is something obviously that comes from the stripper world, or the male exotic entertainer world, where the alpha showpiece is the last one, the grand finale. Okay, the one that would go on the flyer, like in the middle, that'd be on a plugger or the flyer in the middle, where the women have saved up their tip money and everything like that, and the lights. He's got all these different um, elements to his presentation or his dance or his scene, and that's the only thing that I would assume that the person is asking about in terms of a super good bar anomaly. Now, in the exotic entertainer world, those are 0.00 7% guys out of the population. Okay, they train like crazy, like Rom said, D1 athlete, muscular, shredded, flexible, at peak performance, right? And they, in the case of Alpha Showpiece, they train, or even an exotic showpiece, they train specifically to turn women on, to seduce women with their eyes, to wear a shirt that highlights their most attractive attributes. But they're ultimately bringing a woman, or the women in the audience, what they came to see. And it's a performance that unfolds. So that's probably the closest thing that I would say in terms of when you refer to a super good bar anomaly. But thanks again for that question, Rom. Here's another one. It says, Rom and Cousin T, can visiting a strip club, okay, yeah, I should have probably highlighted this first. Can visiting a strip club as a man develop or increase your sexual charisma? Hell no.
Nope. Nope.
What are your
Nope.
thoughts on that?
Nope. Man, I'm gonna tell you what, man. That's the worst thing you can do, because women, trust me, most you can do there is be entertained. They ain't gonna do anything for you. Women gonna tell you anything to keep that money flowing. You ain't gonna get nothing from them. If they feel like they can just give you some attention to keep that money flowing, they gonna do it. They ain't gonna do shit for you. If you go to a strip club, just go there just to be entertained, okay? Don't expect you're going to learn anything or do anything. And even if you have sex with a streetwalker or a sex worker, they just actresses, okay?
Right.
And I ain't for that, but if you get that, whatever. But they ain't going to do anything for you.
Right.
Now, if you get that woman who's a church woman who wants to suck your dick, then okay, maybe. Okay, yeah, all right. Or you get that woman who is prim and proper, maybe working in your office, talking about, hey, come to my office, and she locked the door. Okay, maybe. But going to a strip club, man, just go there for entertainment, man.
Yes, I agree 100% with that. Definitely go to a strip club, enjoy the atmosphere, enjoy the scene. Go if you're gonna go, plan to go with your guys, or take a date. I've definitely taken dates to strip clubs.
Man.
Obviously, I've told her before, I've prepped her for it, but it's for fun and entertainment. You're interacting with actresses, okay, and the type of actresses with one thing on their mind: get as much money out of you in your group as possible. Okay, so the idea that Ron put out there, talking to a church girl, talking to women who are in your workspace, safely, HR friendly talk, of course, but using that as practice. the grocery store clerk, the coffee shop barista, just women who you encounter on a daily basis, just engaging in conversation. That's how you're going to practice and develop and increase your sexual charisma. So thank you for that. Great question. I'm gonna take a few more questions, but first I want to shout out. There we go, Low Rock. Salute to you. Appreciate that. 9.99. Appreciate that. And also Brian Turner. Brian Turner, 42. He says, my goal is to become an alpha showpiece. I train 5 to 6 times a week and I have a sharp diet. I've been listening to you both for years. Yeah, salute to you. I don't know where you're from. Perhaps you can put where you're from, what city and state, because if you really want to develop and hone those attributes, find out where the nearest strip club is that has an open night, an open dance night for men. Now, don't, I'm not saying go like to, an alternative male strip clubs, because they have more of those. They'll have more alternative male strip clubs than, hetero strip clubs. So find one in your city or state, or one that's nearby that you can go. The manager will walk you through what the requirements are. They will definitely have you get naked in front of them, the staff, the bartenders, or whatever, to see if you qualify even to dance, to be like either a practice dancer or a server. Okay, so if you're not like one of the main dancers who has their own feature or has their own scenes on stages, they'll have you serve and perhaps give table dances or seat dances, and if they have it, offer VIP. Okay, so that would be my recommendation there. But this question here, let me see. There are a couple. Okay, so I think this is the one. I don't know if you want to answer this. It may be funny to you. It says, I understand that there are homosexuals out there. I know you mentioned that, Rom, but I believe money matters not in attracting women, but the kind of women that you attract. So I believe money still matters. Do you guys agree? This is Daniel Victor, 552.
Nah, dude. I'm gonna tell you something now, man. I say the overwhelming majority of women I've gotten with in life, man, they made more money. Money don't matter. And like I said, I know a player now. I see him around the neighborhood. Women paying for him. That dude got like 3 women. If a woman want to fuck you, she just want to fuck you. It don't matter. Money don't matter. But look, women selling for money. They will use you for your money and then fuck somebody for free. It's like I joke when I be like driving, doing the car videos. They'll have you take them to a 5-star restaurant and then don't eat anything, get a big doggy bag, then take you back to some place in the hood. And then, some other dude answer the door and she'd be like, oh, no, that's just my cousin, and feed him or something. Or I remember one time I went over this woman's house, and this when I was younger and Dirty Mac and some, I'm pulling into this parking space where this guy just pulled out and the woman just saying, yeah, that's it. You can believe money matter all you want, but women fucking some dudes out here for free. Women paying for it. Women taking care of it. Now, if you think money matters, no, they using if a woman looking at you and saying you got to pay this or that, she ain't feeling you. She using you. And women will tell you that if they want to fuck somebody, they'll fuck somebody for free. Especially in this day and age, they don't need your money anymore. They got their own money. I don't know why dudes can't get that. And I ain't trying to jump on you, man, but dude, you got to get that mindset out of there, because you got some women, they on that player thing themselves. and they will use it. Yeah, they will still get with you for some money, but you'll get that pancake sex, but they won't suck your dick. But then that dude who they really want, they're gonna give him everything. They're gonna give him everything in the bedroom, and he ain't spend one penny.
Right.
Ain't about the money. They will use them. And now, even now, and we were talking about kind of touching on that at the beginning. These women don't need your money anymore. But they still want that D. They want that D. All you have to do is just be healthy and crazy. And look at it as in a more practical manner. If a woman is getting with these dudes for free, why are you paying? Why are you paying? Because they'll make the dude wait for a while. They'll make the dude wait 90 days if he's going to pay. But then they'll fuck the dude that they want in 9 hours. Probably quicker than that, 90 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So which one you want to be? We telling you the select world, and we really ain't get as deep. I'm telling you what's up. We telling you how to get the pussy for free. And these women giving it up. These women are pressed out here. You got anything to add to that, Cousin T?
No, you're about to go there. You're about to go to the paid version. Now, this is we're giving the YouTube version of the information for the deeper, more. Not that this is impactful. This is definitely impactful information that we're providing, but there are levels to this. And with a question like that, like you provided, Daniel, we would have to have some qualifiers and follow up. For example, this is real quick and we get to the next question. You said if you believe that money matters, not in attracting women, but the kind of women you attract. So that would have to be unpacked. You would have to qualify that question if we were having a coaching section, because that does speak to your mindset, but it also reveals where you are in terms of the type of women that you desire, not necessarily the type of women that you have successfully engaged with, all the way to the point of, exchanging an intimate evening or experience with. But like I said, if you opt for coaching services, we would have to further unpack what your mentality is on that. But thanks again for that question. Let's see. There was another.
Let me say something about that too.
Uh-huh.
The more money a woman has, if you're talking like those top women, they got money. They don't need your money for shit. Okay, they just don't need your money. When you talking about those top women, they attractive. They may be like supervising in the office or something. They need your money less. The only women who really need your money are some poor ass women. I would hope y'all ain't fucking with no poor ass women. I would hope y'all ain't fucking with no ratchets. Yeah, that woman who wanted like that Sunny Delight and some Cheetos, yeah, she might want your money. But you got that woman who, shoot, they got their own home. They got a better car than you. They got some corporate position. They just need some steady dick. They don't need your money. That's the bottom line. The more attractive ones, because you got that pretty privilege out there, they don't need your money. And you got to get money out your mind. And see, I knew this because shoot, it wasn't until really recent years I was really making money. I was like, well, hold up. I'm getting plenty of pussy, plenty of women, and I ain't had money like that. I was getting women. I was living at home at my grandmother, sleeping in the same bunk bed that I was sleeping in when I was in high school, getting plenty of women.
Mm-hmm.
Some fine ass women. I can't listen to that song Rump Shaker without thinking about one of them.
All right. Now, shout out to the one and only Pimp God shouting us out right here.
What's up, brother?
And in a very, very near future, we have to get a bigger panel with this gentleman on it, so we can take it even deeper and go to some places that people have not even imagined possible. But that's what this is about. This is about expanding perspectives and progressing on the path of masculine mastery. Let's see. Shout out to cousin. I'm sorry. So this is at LTSII. Shout out to cousin T and Uncle Rom. I've gotten consultations from both of them. Salute to you. Salute to you, definitely. Here's a question, Rom. What is your best advice for getting with women that make more money than you?
They just want some. They ain't even about the money. Take money out the equation. Seriously. The money thing is only in your mind. They still want that hot beef injection. If all you had to do is remember these women out here want sex. The money thing is only in your head. Don't worry about it. And then as a man, you just because she got more money don't mean you let her control you. That's a man's thing. These women, trust me, like I said, you got women out here, they paying dudes. You got some low-key gigolos out here. They want that D. Just give her the D. That's all she want. Don't worry about the money. Take money out of it. If you truly select, you don't have to pay money. They make non-select men pay money. If you select, if you missed a good bar, they just want that D. Shoot. They'll pay for the vacation. They'll invite you over. They'll buy you some clothes or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Now, my thing is, of course, I agree with everything that Rom just said, and I just want to be clear about the question that you're asking. Let's see. Offense. You're saying, what is your best advice for getting with women that make more money than you? This is another one where we'd have to further unpack it. Like, where are you coming from with this one? Because there's no way that you're going to know that a woman makes more money than you by just meeting her at a bar, unless you're specifically talking about a woman that's at your job. Okay, that's probably one of the only ways that you're going to know that she makes more money than you anyway. How is that coming up in conversations? Are you bringing that up in conversation? So with this question, you really have to, if we were having a conversation during a session or a consultation, I would definitely need you to further unpack that. What are the qualifiers for this particular question? Okay, is this a woman that's in your friend circle that you already know, like her background, her bio, she's an executive or whatever? So just asking the question just like this, it's received as trying to reverse the dynamic in terms of thinking that the average man thinking that he needs to make a certain amount of money or more money than a woman in order to just be immediately desirable or eligible, as they like to say. So once again, thanks for the question, but that's another question that requires a bit more qualification. All right. Shout out to Master Mystic Scorpio and Field General Rom Wills. So Loki, shout out to you. And
what's up, bro?
You know Loki.
Yeah. He be in some of our private stuff, man. He knows. He knows me as the gunslinger. We ain't gonna get into that. Why I was called gunslinger.
Okay, all right. So at some point, you gotta definitely just mention. I know it's private stuff, but when we talk about Patreon, we talk about consultations. Rom's private stuff, group discussions. That's the highest level that you can get. Okay, or just leave it at that. So those who know, they know. All right. Shout out to Rogue Pill. Let's see, $9.99. It says, thank you both for all you both contributed to men's improvement. Shout out to you. Salute to you. It says, women have Mr. Wallet and Mr. Dick. Absolutely. And they have Mr. Food. They have Mr. Uber.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Let's see. So here's another one. And I think this is a question. Uh, LTSII with $10 says, are women more obvious when they have a man or more subtle? Let's see. In my opinion, I think that's what it says. Your opinion. Do they move fast or slow? Uh, Two women in mind when they're texting or in person give off vibes but never give the obvious. So let's just take the first part of this. Are women more obvious when they have a man or more subtle?
It depends. It depends. If they don't want you at all, if they want you to back up off of them, they let you know right away. But if they checking you out, they say, they'll be more subtle. They'll see what's going on. They'll let you know. Like if a woman tell you right away she got a man, she don't want you. She might even be lying. But she kind of waits. She trying to see what you talking about. She probably checking you out. So it depends on the situation. It really does depend on the situation, you know?
Right. So I'll say this: the more you develop your game, because game is not only about being able to spit ism. It's not only about putting together your look, putting together your presentation, so that you can offer a woman an opportunity. The game and knowing game and learning game and practicing game is about being able to interpret a situation. How good are you at understanding what a woman is putting out? And as a player, as a man with game, you need to understand what a woman's status is before you enter into a situation with her. Meaning, some women will be obvious. They will wear their wedding ring. Others will be less forthcoming with their relationship status. But ultimately, you have to understand why you're getting into the situation to begin with. Are you entering this situation for adult fun, just to play? Well, then that may not necessarily be a priority for you. But you always have to understand what her status is, because you don't know if she's married to a man that is unhinged. She could be married to a non-select man, okay, who has invested everything in her, and he's, obsessed with her every move. He's got a tracker on her. He tracks her phone. He's, following her or whatever. And you never know. Or she could be involved with a type of man who is more liberal with how his partner moves. These are things that you need to be able to assess and to draw out over the course of the conversation that you're having with her as you've progressed in that initial, dialogue that you're having, making it sexual, making her aware that you desire her, and receiving that confirmation that she too desires you for an intimate exchange. So that's what we'll say for that. And no, again, thank you for that contribution. Manny 3 Curry 11, or Manny 30 Curry 11 says, what's good, cousin Tito and Ron? What are some reasons you think a woman may turn down a man, even though you clearly, I'm assuming he says, you can clearly tell she's turned on and doesn't have a man?
And no telling what it could be anything, man. It could be anything. I mean, that's just the nature of women, man. It could be whatever. I mean, yeah, she turned on, but it could be whatever at that particular moment. See, one thing with women, man, they still have, like I said, they can go through their period where they ain't just trying to fuck you, or it could be it could be myriad things. Maybe I work together. Maybe she don't want to go there, whatever. Like I've said, you don't worry about rejection. If she tripping, she tripping. Don't even think about it too much, man. Don't even think about it too much. If she turned on by you, it means you might not get it then, but then she call you up like 11 o'clock one night and be like, hey, I'm coming over or something, you know? Just keep it, just mark her and just keep it moving, man. And when I say mark her, just say, oh, okay, she's interested. It's not going to happen right at this moment, but you never know. Because there's been plenty of women I got with and I didn't get with them right at that moment, but then got with them later. And they just surprised me. I remember one woman, man, I got with her. I was just going to stop by her place. I was actually going someplace else afterwards. I stopped by her place just to say hi real quick. All of a sudden, we doing something. So, you know, it depends.
No, I agree. There's a variety of reasons why a woman could uh, sort of turn down the advancement, even though she's turned on, so to speak. You could have two fingers, on those lower lips and feel all the wetness of Niagara Falls, and she could still, you know, stop you and leave and have to do something else. She could be coming on. Okay, at that time, she could just get that text from her husband or her whatever, saying that he's about to enter the space that you're in. There could be a lot of things, a lot of reasons why, and so just the main takeaway from this, I wouldn't qualify this as being turned down. You said in your question, why would she turn down a man if she's turned on? It's not if she's turned on by you, she's not turning you down. It is a pause. Okay, she's pausing to remove herself from the situation for a certain reason. So I would shift the mindset to that being the case. All right, thanks for that question. Let's see. Oh, this person is giving a testimony. Aaron James says, I sent Rom a message before. He said, get therapy. I am 38 and never had a girl, never kissed a woman, but that will change soon. I always felt that I couldn't speak to women, so I never tried. So, well, we always want to wish you the best on your therapeutic journey, and because mental health is essential. It is essential. You have to have your mind in the right space. You have to have clarity about your life direction if you're even considering entertaining women. Okay, so thanks for that statement. Shout out to Matthew Martinez, 199. Let's see. This one is Matthew Martinez again. He says, do you think the RP movement is becoming feminized? Interesting. Also, been walking with y'all for years. The game doesn't fade, but I always stay tapped in. Rob, do you answer those questions about the RP?
I'm gonna tell you the truth. I don't really keep up with it because appeal is just appeal to me. Seriously. Like I said, I'm in the real world, so I don't even know. Maybe you could answer that question better. Maybe you keeping up with it better. Because like I said, if you want to get red pill, like go to a city you ain't never been in before with no money. And I said you probably be red pilled in a year. So I don't know what's going on online. I ain't keeping up with them. I can't answer that question. I don't know what's happening with them because I just deal in the real world.
Right. Yeah. I can't say that means a specific thing nowadays. So it's becoming like a universal label that a lot of groups, special interest groups and profiteers are using or just slapping on certain products. I'll put it that way. Mm-hmm. So my only thing is it used to stand for awareness, awakening, and advancement. What it stands for now, I can't really speak to because it's so fractured and it's being propagandized by special interests. I'll put it that way. But thanks again for the super chat. Let's see. see a woman turning down. All right. So here's what we'll do. We'll continue with, let's see. Do I have you for another half hour, Rom? Is that cool?
I don't have a job, man. I can be here. I don't have a job. All I'm
I
gonna do after
appreciate
I
it.
finish this is go to sleep, man. I ain't gonna be
Okay.
entertained tonight. So it's like I said, I keep tonight free. I told her she couldn't come over.
Well, we appreciate it. We appreciate it. So, okay, wait, I missed this one right here. Before we get back into the select, non-select dynamics. I think this is an interesting, solid game right here. Salute to you, brothers. Going to Essence Festival and the AKA National Boule in Vegas. Definitely applying this top-notch game. Salute. All right, so Rom, this is your this was from Anointed One. This you got some experience here that you can share some wisdom.
I'm gonna tell you what. I would say I've gotten with a good portion of AKAs, man. You know, you got to have some class for them and stuff and some discreetness, but they get down like everybody else. You just got to be a little bit more quiet with them publicly. But they some fine ass women. Trust me. Got two sons by AKAs. Shoot, them are
There
some
you go.
shoot. Trust me. I love them. I love some AKAs and stuff, man. Just be cool. Don't be all ghetto when you trying to talk to them or something like that. You can be ghetto in the bedroom, but you know, publicly, you know, be cool, talk with them. And trust me, they get down. And they also want to make sure you're gonna be discreet. Because some
That's
of them
it.
got some corporate jobs. They don't want you like letting them know, like letting people know what you're doing. So, you know, be cool. Just be cool.
All right. Thank you for that statement, Anointed One. And this one really quick. Let's hit this before we get back into the select non-select. Filipino black pill. Let's see. 6194 for educational purposes, right? This is all for educational and in media uh, observation purposes. Shadow World, is that is that just putting that out there as a prompt in terms of how the select go in and out of the shadow world, or
Well,
is
I'm gonna
it?
tell you what they can the select because really they the only ones gonna get in because you know the women in the shadow world they just want the hot beef injection. They definitely want the sex, and they ain't gonna just take it from anybody. They want it from the guys they consider select. So if you want to even think about being invited into the shadow world, you got to be select. That's about it. But you know, and as you would say, that's really the interface to the woman's real world, where they really that chaos realm where they really getting down. But if you even want to talk about that, make sure you select first. Work to get there. Don't think you stuck into being non. If you realize you non-select, you ain't getting to play. Don't even think about the shadow world. Work about getting select first. The women will come find you. The women will come find you. They'll hit you up talking about, hey, you know, we having a party. When you want to come along, yeah, you know.
Absolutely, and not only work on developing um, into the select realm if you're not already there. When you're venturing into the shadow world, you have to understand a key element that Ram has already spoken about, and that is discretion. Okay, women, and I know Ram mentioned this on the outset, but it bears repeating. Women are constantly fantasizing about scenarios in which they can enjoy an intimate exchange, okay, a freaky exchange, all right, a satisfying exchange. They're always thinking about uh, meeting up with a select coworker in the copy room, Yes, they still have copy rooms, right? They are always fantasizing about meeting
Mhm.
up with a select coworker in the women's restroom in that last stall that that can
Mhm.
hold two people. They're constantly fantasizing about hooking up with a select coworker on the boss's desk while the boss is
Mhm.
away on a golf outing. They're always fantasizing about all of these different scenarios. And trust me, we are going to have a dedicated discussion, a dedicated live just about fantasies. All right. This stream right here is the introduction. This is the tip of the iceberg. I want to make sure that people, had an opportunity to really chop it up with Ron Wills so that he can dispense as much wisdom as you guys can handle, because Ron brings the real. Ron brings the perspective of maturity, wisdom, and uh, years in the game. Rom is, of course, a multi published author. I'm going to ask you something, Rom. I don't know if you got your phone available. If I'm going to ask you this, maybe you've already done this, but have you Googled yourself? Have you Googled your book or any of your books?
Yeah, always check out well, I Google myself. Got a lot of pics
Okay,
out there, got a lot of stuff out there. So,
right. So I asked this because of course, the other day, I was purchasing some new books, and I just decided to Google a review of the seduction scriptures. And you know how Google now has that AI sort of filter on it automatically. Like you used to have to click to ask it to give an AI response, but now it's just integrated.
mhm.
Okay, and so it gave a review of the seduction scriptures, and I'm like, all right, I need to copy paste this, put this somewhere, because it was a wonderful review, but it was honest. It combined like what people had posted after reading my book, and their reactions and responses, and just an overview of what their takeaways from was for the book. So if you haven't done an AI sort of review of your book, or like an AI review search of your book, I definitely recommend it. It's a great sort of way to get like an updated bio for modern audiences. Again, people who are in the chat, if you have a question for the field general, Rom Wills, definitely go ahead and put that down in the chat. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to both channels, as we will be bringing you wonderful discussions just like this, fruitful discussions like this on greater levels going into the future. All right. This discussion is about being select versus non-select, and the presence of choice within women. People can say modern women, people can say women globally, but women are women, and women want, women desire, women search for, women try to negotiate satisfaction. Now,
Mhm.
Rom, what can you tell us about satisfying women?
What can I tell you? Man, you just gotta knock
That's
them out
YouTube
the
friendly.
box, man. You gotta say, I mean, no matter what the woman is, you gotta make sure she's satisfied. I mean, the old school players would say, make sure she come first. Make sure she get hers first. You know? Seriously. Just make sure you take care of them, man. Trust me, they do like what you were saying earlier about their fantasies. Man, we could do a whole show on that, man. They be thinking about it all the time. In fact, if you get around some women, they get comfortable around you, you be surprised. Some of these guys be surprised what they be talking about. And they would say some stuff around me. It's like, damn, y'all talking like that. We know you can handle it. Just like, oh, snap. They want it. That's why, these guys be doing all this extra stuff out here. I'm like, man, y'all had to work. Dude, get your body in shape. Get your body in shape. Be clean. Let the Bible bless you. Yeah, sometimes don't even matter. Be able to have a decent conversation. You don't even have to have anything magical about it. You can get these women. They be fantasizing. In fact, that's why you got some of these strippers out here, some of these gigolos, just to answer some of these fantasies. Shoot. Yeah, I remember Joe Blast. He crushed my hand and stuff, man. I remember that
There you
dude.
go. There you go.
Shoot. Big old dude, man. Shoot. I feel sorry for his women, man, because he probably be breaking them, man. That dude ain't no joke. Joe Blast, I remember him. Yeah.
That's what's up. Yeah, no, just to continue what you said about satisfying woman. Now that is its own live stream. That is its own conversation in and of itself. But a lot of what we discuss, and not only our consultations, but in the videos that we make, in the media that we produce, has to do with the downstream effect of masculine mastery, personal development, understanding that you need a mentor that's been where you desire to go, a coach that understands the process and the progression that's necessary in order to achieve the results that you are looking for. Obviously, Rom Wills is a high level among the giants in those categories. I myself, I have experience with many sort of elements and subjects in that realm of masculine mastery. And I say that to say that one of the downstream effects of you embracing your path of mastery is the satisfaction of the women who you determine are worthy of your presence, are worthy of becoming a part of your operation, are worthy of being extended the opportunity to engage in an exchange with you, an exchange of experiences, an exchange of intimacy, an exchange of your wisdom. You see, I always say, and I know Rom says it as well in his way, that women love players. I say that women love players because players are going to always put everybody involved in the best position to win. Okay. Now, winning means many things to many people, but basically, it's the game of desire that we're playing. Basically, it's lifestyle management that we're participating in. Basically, it's ultimately the fruition of our mission that we're attending to. And so, the reason why I say that players are always going to put everybody involved in the right position is that not every woman qualifies for that highest position in your life, first lady. Not every woman qualifies as a ride or die. Some women are just worthy of a satellite position. Okay. But your development gives you the capacity to deliver that thing that they all desire, and that's satisfaction. Satisfaction being the effect of your presence. Rom says very specifically sexual satisfaction, making her woo, 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 in a variety of ways, but also putting her in a position to whereas that can happen to her mentally, emotionally, and dare we even say spiritually. Could you imagine bringing a woman to a spiritual climax? I know that you don't have to imagine that, Rom. I know, right? Especially when you look, and I got to give a few minutes for you to mention your time with Master Yao but of course you have experience with bringing a woman to spiritual orgasm. If you want to touch on that briefly, and we got a question right here, I'm going to pause for a minute.
I would just
But
say
can you
this:
touch on that.
when she can talk to spirits, that's all you need to know. I don't know where everybody is. I don't know if everybody ready for that. But if she going into a past life or something, you done did something. And you can actually open up a woman that way. For those who want to get deep into some metaphysics, that dick got some information. You can have that woman floating on there. Have you floating on there? She might speak a different language with you or something. Trust me, that's some powerful stuff. That's a show in itself. Because really, I can really go deeper. I can go deeper. I don't go deep on my regular channels because everybody ain't ready for it. But I can go deeper. And that's one thing. Your dick can really open up these women in multiple ways. And I'll leave it at that.
Absolutely. All right. So real quick. What does that say? Offense, Moat Long 16. I am a 89 octane man, although I have not unlocked the business part / aspect of being an 89 octane man. Would getting with a basic 89 work for me?
Yeah.
I'm also attracting 92 octane women at the gym.
Hey, if you get them, you get them. Yeah, it'll work for you. Only women that, and I think Cousin Tito would agree with this, only women you don't want to mess with is some 85s. They just ratchet. Yeah. Don't go any lower. Don't go any lower than 87.
Correct. Yeah, that's a good question, and that deserves some further unpacking. So I don't know if you want to. We can feel that with an email or a coaching call, but basically, the gist of this is about compatibility, and I think you're asking about which octane are you more compatible with. If you're an 89, 89s do tend to be compatible with other 89s and 92s. Okay, because it means that you have some education, perhaps a trade certification. And if you're attracting 92 octanes, that's a good opportunity to have a conversation and to see and to check for compatibility. Because that's one thing that a 92 octane likes to do, and that is talk. Okay. So you have a good opportunity to practice and develop your ability to steer conversations as well. All right. So thanks for that question. All right. So I got to get the sound effects going because I wanted for a $20 drop. I want to do the ASP Holy Ghost, but we'll have that figured out for the next one. The question is: a woman asked, "You don't see how women look at you?" Okay. So a woman asked him, "Don't you see how women look at you?" I asked her how and asked her to look at me the way women look at me, but she kept laughing, saying she can't do it. How will I know how a woman looks at me without assuming?
To me, you just have to pay attention because women are slick, man. Women are slick. A woman can check you out and you won't notice anything, but then you look her way and then she'll look down or look away. You just have to pay attention, be real calm and pay attention. I mean, I can't get any deeper than that because women are slick. They be using mirrors, reflective surfaces, whatever. And you don't know anything. That's why I say, like, even when you approach a woman, you think you code approaching a woman, and that woman been seeing you for about 3 months or something and put herself in your path. I mean, it's hard to tell because even now, even to this day, I can like not know who's checking you out, who's checking me out, even to this day. Because when, like I said, women can be slick about that, real slick.
Absolutely. And I think sort of an expansion of this question would be, and you mentioned it in this question, LT, you said how a woman is looking at you. So I assume that you're asking, is she looking at you in a way that's desirous, like sexually desirous, or is she scanning you for a foodie call? Or is she looking at you as the type of man who could be boyfriend material? So in my book, I have what's referred to as the 5 F's of the female gaze. And the first one is, can I fuck him? Second one is, can he feed me? Third one is, can I finesse him? Fourth one is, can he father my children? Fifth one is, can I forget this ever happened? Now, in an extension, probably in the next book, you know, the sixth F, and this is an exclusive, all right, just because you dropped a dub, all right. The sixth F of the female gaze is, can I follow him? Meaning, can I follow his leadership? All right. So, in my opinion, the best way to tell or to know what a woman is thinking or considering when she's looking at you, if you catch her looking at you and you realize that she's looking
Mm-hmm.
at you, is to approach.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Remember, um, you're if this is you're attracted to her, if this is the type of woman that you would desire to have an exchange with, an experience with, then so me, like, I'm so speak for myself. I could be hood. I'd be like, "What you looking at?" Okay, but I can't. I don't know your circumstance. I can't necessarily recommend that for you, or you can try that, but you have to have a follow up. Because if I say, for example, "What you looking at?" I see you, girl. I can keep that flow. I can break that ice in that way. And then into it. I'm so and so. I noticed you noticing me from whatever distance away. Why don't we carry on this eyeball screwing conversation over a drink? Transition that into another scenario in which you can really get to know what's behind that look. So that would be my advice. Thanks again for the dub. Salute to you. All right. Rico Stacks, the commander, 100. Somebody is giving you an amen, Rom, with the mirrors. Yeah, yeah, LT.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
It's a trick, man. Because women are slick. Women are slick. Because look, man. Let me just put it out here for you. If you're a select man, you gonna get pussy thrown at you, even when you ain't trying to be bothered. You really trying to work out at the gym. You really trying to buy some clothes at the store. But if a woman checking you out, she checking you out and she'll surprise you. Like I said, if I was gonna be a dirty Mac, I could have married women up in here every night if I was going to do that. But as you know, I don't feel like dealing with any crazy husbands. At least one woman, because this dude, this husband overheard me saying something about his wife at this gym. I ain't seen her at the gym since. Cause he turned around. Me and this other dude were talking about her because she would always be looking when he ain't around. And he overheard me saying something, or me and this other dude talking about her. I ain't seen him at the gym since, you know? So it could be
mm,
trifling, but these women are horny. These women are horny. That's why I don't get some of these guys out here complaining. I'm like, you can always get something, even if it's not an attractive woman. You could get, as cousin Tito would call them, a foxy four. These women try to
mm,
give something, they trying to give it up. But it's usually guys messing up, thinking they got to spend money on them, or they got to do this or that, or thinking the women don't want to have sex. Man, these women could have sex all day. They could get
absolutely.
down. Shoot, that's why I say there's plenty of room for a man to be select. He just has to
Yes,
understand that. Forget all this other stuff. Forget about like being a protective provider. Does your dick work? If your dick work, you can get a woman out here.
absolutely. And let me just say, all right, because I definitely want to do a stream about SMV. All right, the difference between a dime versus a baddie. Absolutely. However, Ron mentioned the Foxy Four. Let me be very clear. All right, to everyone within the sound of my voice. All right, clip it, whatever you want to do with it. All right, I probably will myself. A Foxy Four, in my experience, all right, and I got numbers. We're not going to say the numbers, but I got numbers. A Foxy Four had the best Ewok, had that nuclear P. For those who have your copy of the seduction scriptures, all right, the nuclear P was attached to a Foxy Four. Let me just put it that way. All right, so don't discount the quality of the experience that you have the opportunity to enjoy simply based
Mhm.
on the aesthetic presentation of a woman. All right. So, good question for that. I'm okay. This is Deep House Nation. Salute to house music. I'm married, but got Rom's book for my nephew. Great book. One of the few in the space who is not on that toxic woman hating pill mess. Salute. All right. Salute to you, Deep House
Thank
Nation.
you, man. Salute.
Let's see. Again, LT says at the gym or when I'm running errands, people tell me I got style. I'm in the gym and my clothes and fragrance, okay, they're put together. Most men in my area aren't in shape, so I know I stand out. Now, that's a good observation, LT. My only follow up would be what have been the results. You see what I'm saying? You're making wonderful observations. My thing
Mhm.
is to take the next step forward and realize what those results are of what you're observing. All right. So, Rom, General Wills, anything else on the select in
Um, I'm gonna tell you
terms
what.
of the
I would
differences
just say
between
this. I would just say this. A man, and wait a minute, I'm just typing something in. But a man, first of all,
yeah,
any man can become select. Any man, any man. I mean, some got to work harder than others, but you're not stuck. Because one of the things I can't stand is somebody say, "Well, I'm non-select," or they caught up into some of this stuff that's in other parts of the channel. Any man can become select out here. Any man can get multiple women out here, but you got to just do the work. And as long as you do the work, you can get the play. And that's the thing. Now you might not be select right now, but that don't mean you won't be select a year from now. That don't mean you don't engage in body game. You develop that conversation. Speak to say hi to 3 women a day. Gradually develop that conversation. Get those fragrances. Let the barber bless you. Get the bait, then get the conversation to hook the woman, and then knock her out in the bedroom. Excuse me, bedroom. You can get there. You can get there. Like even when you dealing with different women, you learn from each experience. Learn from it. But you can get there. Don't think it's like some magical thing or you some anomaly or something like that. You can get there. There's room for it because right now maybe 20%, and I'm being very generous. Some people would say 15%. Whatever the case, there's room for more men because here's the issue. It's not even so much the men, the women. The women horny. They don't take much. They want D. And if you want money, you're talking about money and stuff, make the money for yourself. Don't make that to get women or think you got to do all this stuff be, yeah, they'll say that protector provider stuff and then still be fucking somebody who ain't doing all that for them. Because women will say one thing publicly, but then in the shadow world, they doing something else, or behind closed doors, they doing something else. You can get there. Every single man listening can get there. Ain't no excuses. Ain't no excuses. Even if you on the spectrum or something, there's some attractive women on the spectrum, and they don't shoot. Or even some women who ain't on the spectrum, they'll get with certain men on the spectrum. I don't care what you got, you can get there. Don't have the idea that this is some magical man that's impossible. You hurting yourself. Get your mind right, and you can get there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well said. Shout out to J3 again with the $5 drop. Cook, appreciate the fan. Appreciate the fan. So, Rob, as we've covered the select, we've covered the non-select. Any thoughts as we wrap this up on the state of women's desires? Like, what choices are women actually making? We see the videos about the lonely male epidemic. We see videos with women crying in their cars. What choices are the women actually making in terms of the type of men that they're entertaining, that they're actually getting?
Man, these women want select men. It's no ifs, ands, and buts. It's not deeper. If you lonely out here, you're not select. Okay, it's just that simple. If you want to be select, hit the gym. We telling you what to do. Hit the gym, practice that body game. Let the barber bless you. Fix yourself up. Have a conversation with the women. Be cool. And don't be tripping over how many men they done slept with and all of that, or don't be trying to control them. These women want to fuck. These women want to fuck. And don't.
Yes,
And
indeed.
you know what?
Yes, indeed. So, Ron, let us know any products. It may be a delay. It may be a delay happening now. But I do know that you have seminars coming up, webinar-based seminars coming up. You definitely provide regular drops on Patreon. Highly recommend it. Highly recommend everybody who is in attendance to take a look at Rom's Patreon. Definitely take a look at mine if you can, but definitely take a look at the value that Rom provides over on his Patreon and his channel. But I think we were lagging there for a second, Rom. Is there anything that you have coming up that you want to discuss or to promote?
Just check out my Patreon. Just support me, Cash App. I've been putting those links in the description box. Just keep going with all of that. All right. Yeah, because you really got to be more in my more in a circle for my webinars and stuff like that. But definitely check me out on Patreon. Definitely support me. All right.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Absolutely a privilege to have you on. Definitely look forward to more conversations in the future. We have to talk about women's fantasy. We have to talk about SMV. We definitely have to top it up with all the mash of this thing that we call game. Salute to everybody in the chat. Salute to everybody who donated. We are looking forward to more amazing builds like this going forward into the future. Let's bring real game back to these spaces. And like I say, as always, this is your man cousin, aka the Alpha Wingman, saying, here with the field general, Rom Wills, saying, stay sharp and mission focused. Later.
All right, y'all. Peace and blessings, everybody.